In the quiet corners of a village, where the moon casts long shadows, two children sat on a hill, their laughter like tiny bells ringing in the night. They were inseparable, chasing fireflies that flickered like fallen stars, sharing secrets the wind would carry away. With simple sticks, they etched their dreams into the soft earth dreams of worlds beyond their small village, futures as bright as the moon above. In those innocent times, they were just two souls bound by a friendship that the world had not yet tried to break. Their bond grew stronger with each passing season. Under the dim glow of a single lantern, they would study, their heads bent close together, sharing knowledge as easily as they shared their food. During the day, they helped their families with chores, their small hands working in unison, a silent promise of mutual support. At night, they would return to their hill, their sanctuary, and talk for hours. He spoke of becoming a guardian, a shield for the weak, someone who would protect the people he loved. She spoke of changing the world, of bringing a new dawn of justice and equality for all. Two different dreams, both born under the same silent, watchful sky, but time, as it always does, moved forward. The years passed, and the world outside their village called to them. It was time to leave, to chase the dreams they had drawn in the dirt so long ago. They stood at a crossroads, a simple dirt path that suddenly felt like the edge of the world. With heavy hearts, they promised to meet again, to find their way back to each other once their journeys were complete. As they said their goodbyes, the moon hung above them, a quiet witness to a promise that life might not allow them to keep. Sometimes the paths we are meant to walk pull even the closest hearts in opposite directions. Their lives diverged, shaped by the choices they made. He joined the army, dedicating his life to serving his country, believing it was the truest way to protect the innocent. He found purpose in discipline and camaraderie, his resolve forged in the heat of training. Meanwhile, she found her calling in activism. Her passion for justice led her to a resistance movement, an armed group she believed was fighting against oppression and for the rights of the forgotten. In their separate worlds, both were convinced they were on the path of righteousness, fighting for a better future, never imagining their ideals would one day collide. Years later, the whispers of conflict grew into the roar of war. In the misty mountains, where fog clung to the trees like a shroud, two forces prepared for a confrontation. On one side, soldiers moved with practiced efficiency, their faces grim with determination. On the other, rebels navigated the dense forest, their movements swift and silent. He was among the soldiers, she among the rebels. Neither knew that the person they had once shared every dream with was now on the other side of the battlefield. The fog of war is thick, and it rarely cares to ask who once shared the same sky, the same moon, the same childhood dreams. The battle erupted without warning. The serene morning was shattered by the chaos of combat. Smoke filled the air, and the forest echoed with shouts and the clamor of strife. In the confusion, he was struck. He fell to the ground, the vibrant world around him fading into a dull silence. When the fighting subsided, an eerie quiet descended upon the mountains. Her group moved cautiously through the aftermath, securing the area. And then she saw him, a familiar shape, a soldier lying still on the forest floor. She approached slowly, a cold sense of dread creeping into her heart. Kneeling beside him, she gently brushed the dirt from his face. Her breath caught in her throat. It was him. The world around her dissolved, replaced by a flood of memories, laughter echoing on a moonlit hill. the flickering dance of fireflies, the earnest look in his eyes as he spoke of protecting people, the boy she had promised to meet again. Tears streamed down her face, falling onto the uniform of the man she had just fought against. The enemy she had faced was the boy she had once loved. That night she sat alone under the same moon that had witnessed their childhood promises. It shone down on her, indifferent to the wreckage of her heart. In her hand she clutched a small, worn-out wooden bird he had carved for her as a child. She looked up at the sky, at the vast, silent expanse, and remembered the two children who had dared to draw their futures in the dirt. One who wanted to protect, the other who wanted to change the world. How had their noble dreams led them here? How different could life have been if only time or fate had chosen another path for them to walk? As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of hope and sorrow, she made a choice. Leaving the small wooden bird on a mossy stone, she stood up and walked away. She left the forest, the movement, and the fight behind her. With each step, she moved toward the rising sun, toward a new beginning, a path she would have to forge alone, the path of peace. It is often the hardest path to choose, the greatest battle to be fought not on a field of war, but within one's own heart. When we fight for different dreams, love can become the silent casualty of our convictions. It is a quiet tragedy, a story that echoes in the heart long after the battle is over. Before it is too late, we must choose the path that protects life, the path that honors the bonds we share. For in the end, it is not the ideals we fight for, but the love we preserve that truly defines us.